Welcome, everyone, to Rutgers, the voice of college football. I'm Adam Lamparello, here with my fantastic co-hosts, Gabriel Pickup and Donovan Gibbs, and we've got a great show here for you tonight, starting, as always, with the pick updates. Gabe, what do you got for us?
Yeah, one gigantic update is Drake linebacker Sean Allison has followed his head coach Joe Woodley to join the Scarlet Knights on defense. And this is fantastic because his numbers with the Bulldogs last year, he had 110 total tackles, 56 solo, 3 pass deflections, 2 interceptions, 2 sacks. And he's a senior, so he'll undoubtedly be starting. So I'm very happy about this, but my number one question is sort of in regards to Ty Morris. I thought we were bringing Ty Morris in from Rice to start. And so I don't know if we're changing schemes or running 2 middle linebackers. I'm not sure where this leaves things.
I see this potentially because they're going to most likely run a 4-3. So
yeah,
there is going to be a potential that he might be the Mike, but he might most likely going to play well for this team. Woodley might have him as a will because right now we're good at that middle linebacker spot due to getting Morris from Rice.
And what school is this linebacker coming from?
Drake.
Say Drake.
Oh, he's coming from Duke. Oh, that's a good football pro. Oh, wait, did you say
Duke?
Drake. Where's Drake? Is that in Iowa?
You know, it's where we're getting our defensive, not defensive coordinator, Joe Woodley, the I think he's the secondary coach.
Private university in Iowa, Drake.
All right, well, if you guys think it's a good acquisition, hey.
I do.
I'm just wondering how it's going to work because it's a good pickup depth-wise, but how much is he truly going to play is my question here because the Rutgers Scarlet Knights not only went heavy on linebacker in the portal, but still a lot of the returning guys, especially on this defense, are going to be in that linebacker room.
You know, maybe I ought to tone it down a little bit. I just assumed, Drake did pretty well last year, I believe, and same with North Dakota State. So we're getting staff from North Dakota State and Drake, and now we're getting Sean Allison out of Drake. Maybe I jumped the gun, especially because he's a senior, assuming he was going to start. But to me, those numbers are too sexy, even if it is at Drake, for him not to get a chance.
There's a chance he could. It really depends on how well he does in spring ball or camp primarily. I think he's going to come in the summer. There's no way they're just going to have him drop in right now. But there's a chance for that due to spring ball starting up for a lot of schools post spring break. So there's a chance that he could get into this defense and be able to be a contributor and gather a lot of chemistry. But I truly agree with Jason there where he's most likely going to be a special teams type of player because he doesn't have the size for the Big Ten. Being a 5'10" linebacker is kind of tough if you don't really have a lot of other intangibles that pop off the board. But also, I do want to talk about how this pickup is good.
Wait, it says here he's 6 feet on ESPN.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes the schools lie about the height.
That's true.
If it says he's 6 feet, it means he's probably 5'6". So
if he was in the combine right now, they got an official height for him. He's most likely 5'10".
Okay. Well, yeah, Drake last year was 8-4 in the Pioneer standings, 7-1 in conference. They were. It's a conference that has San Diego, Morehead State, Butler, Marist. Marist is confusing. So they're in the Pioneer Conference, but then they're in the MAC in basketball. Okay,
that's weird.
Yeah. So Adam, you had a kind of a disgusted look on your face a few seconds ago. What was that about?
I wouldn't call it a disgusted look. I would call it a skeptical or a concerned look because the players that we're getting from the transfer portal or just that are coming in via recruiting, I struggle to see how they're going to make us more competitive against teams like Michigan, Ohio State, Indiana, USC, Penn State. It seems to be more of the same rather than a step in the right direction.
Yeah,
I see it as a coach just bringing his guys alongside with him. We've seen this time and time again when we see new coaches with new systems. We saw with Kirk Signetti at Indiana bringing a lot of his guys from JMU. We saw it with Deion Sanders when he first got to Colorado, bringing him from Jackson State. So it feels kind of a move where he took the best player from his team. So that's where I see this as a positive because he wouldn't just take anybody, especially for a school like Drake where they don't really play as much competition. And despite the great record this year, what he did at Drake in the Pioneer League would not even hold a candle to what the competition and the players that he will go up against in the Big Ten. But if this coach wants to take him up to Piscataway, there's a reason why he's doing it. He truly sees that he's going to fit well in this defense. And the way that this defense is ran, there's going to be less linebackers on the field. So you can truly see the potential of him, especially the earlier parts of the year, them using a lot of those depth pieces at linebacker. So everybody can just stay healthy and fresh.
Yeah. It's just you said Deion Sanders, and I had a little bit of a reaction just because of the tragic news this past weekend about one of his quarterbacks, Dominic Ponder, who passed away in a single car crash. Rest to him. I don't know if you
rest his soul,
Adam.
That's so sad. Terrible tragedy.
Yeah, single car crash, 3 a.m. Lost control on a turn in the 2023 Tesla Model 3. It says lost control on a curve. Strike the guardrail and unfortunately passed away. So rest in peace to Dominic. And, may his family find ease during this difficult time.
Rest in power. Rest in power.
Had to bring it up because that's pretty big national news, even if it's not Rutgers related.
Yeah, it's sad, too, because beyond football, this gentleman has his whole life ahead of him. And for it to be gone just like that, tragic. Our thoughts and prayers are with him and, of course, the family.
Absolutely. What's up, Austin? Seabiscuit, how are you doing on this lovely Monday evening? If y'all don't know, Seabiscuit is a horse favorite of the show. And Austin is, of course, I suppose, a favorite viewer, too. So, yeah, I don't really have anything else. I was just wondering where this leaves Sean Allison in terms of him versus Ty Morris. It seems like Ty Morris is still getting the pretty clear edge. I guess I sort of
Ty Morris wouldn't come to Rutgers if he wasn't going to be a head guy for this linebacking room.
Yeah, fair enough. And it seems like Jabome to Ty Morris is apples to apples, very similar.
I agree with that.
Very similar numbers. I would say Ty Morris had slightly better numbers, but also Jabome had like a lot stiffer competition. And, hopefully for Sean Allison, he'll find some time. Hopefully it's not due to injury either. Hopefully it's organic. But yeah, that's all I got for the pickup dates, though.
All right, so we're moving on now. And I think, guys, there's something we got to talk about. It may not necessarily be Rutgers related, but certainly the talk of the college football world. Let's talk about this combine this past weekend and how the players did, and Rutgers players that maybe should have been there that would have performed quite well. So who wants to start us off with that one?
I'll kick you off right off because I was lucky enough to watch the combine all 3 days from Friday up to yesterday. And one thing that really caught my eyes, besides the fact that everybody was running a 4.4 like it was running out of style, no pun intended, was that a lot of the QBs that did participate were primarily doing the throwing drills. And a lot of those QBs, outside of, I would say, Drew Allard, Carson Beck had a decent day throwing. And when it came to the deep ball section, I will say Jalen Daniels did show a lot of his arm talent on a lot of those deep balls and different route combinations deep. But everybody else that I saw, primarily, I really thought that Ethan definitely should have had a bone in this combine, especially in the throwing position, or at least for the throwing drills, because I truly see the throws that a lot of these guys were making is something that Ethan could have nailed and showed a lot of scouts what he's capable of. A lot of these shorter concepts, whether they're 5-yard in cuts or 5-yard outs or middle of the field type of slants and comeback routes. I saw a lot of guys, especially one combine warrior, Taylor Green, absolutely go straight up obliterate the comeback route throwing section of that combine because he just could not nail a pass when it came to any sort of out balls or anywhere where it led to anticipation on the throw. That was something Taylor Green was not able to shine bright at, and that was one throw that I truly saw that Ethan Kaliakmanis could have thrived in. Some other guys that did show out, I truly also see that Ethan could have played a role and looked better than was Joe Fadnau. I was practicing his name for the last 2 days, just I'll be able to say it without us getting any sort of community guideline strike.
Yeah.
But Fadnau
Okay.
is not anywhere close to what Ethan Kaliakmanis could have done, at least combine-wise, when it came to the drills. Yes, the difference on the field, and truly, if you compare both guys' tapes, I would prefer Ethan's tapes. The fact that Fadnau had better numbers, 28-1, he was one of the top passers in the FBS, even despite the playing teams such as Delaware and their hardest competition being an early season matchup against Syracuse. Ethan still had a lot of good things on tape that could have combated a lot of these QBs. And I was just looking at that entire QB section outside of the top guys. Because going in, we already knew Fernando Mendoza was going to be first overall.
Yeah.
We also saw guys such as Drew Aller. Drew Aller, I did not have any sort of animosity against when he was doing the drills because he honestly has a lot of arm talent, and that's something that a lot of GMs definitely took an eye out on. So I just wanted to see your guys' opinion and where do you think Ethan could have thrived at in this combine, and what would have been his toughest obstacle?
Well, I think he would have thrived at the deep ball because I saw it a bunch this season that he made those look pretty effortless at times, whether it was to DT or to Ian or KJ. It just seemed like every time the ball went deep, it was a perfect throw, and either the receiver could bring it in or he couldn't bring it in, or it was extremely well defended. But it always seemed like Ethan gave them a chance with the deep ball. I think that this combine would have been most beneficial for Ethan actually with the middle throws. I think that's where Ethan sort of looked the most vulnerable this past year. And another guy that we didn't even mention last week that maybe deserved a shot, if we're going to talk about a guy from a program where you don't expect much, but then he overperforms and has a great ratio, why not have given Evan Simon a chance? 2,097 yards, 25 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. I believe those were just on the last 2 weeks of the year too. 60% completion rating, 141 rating. It seems like, 17 sacks only. It seems like he was kind of gypped if we're going to talk about Fagnano versus versus Evan Simon. If you're going to go with the good ratio overperforming, Temple was ranked bottom 10 coming into the year in FBS, and they went 6-6.
Yeah, I think you'll make good points. I watched it too, and I thought Taylor Green, unbelievable. First starting off with a 4.36 40.
Yeah, that is crazy. Do you know what the record is for?
He's going to get moved. You got to understand. When I heard that 40 time, and did y'all hear the player comp that was given to Green?
No.
Terrell Pryor.
I was going to say like Braxton Miller, maybe.
No, it was Terrell Pryor. So I'm just hearing, they're already thinking about having him running routes.
Yeah, I was unbelievable. And then he goes and does a 43.5-inch vertical. Now, for context, my vertical jump is 11 inches. He jumps 4 times higher than I do. Unbelievable. I thought he had some really good deep balls, some great arm strength. I thought Ty Simpson really showed out. Just consistent accuracy across the board.
I hope the Jets don't take him, man. I don't want that. I don't want to fall for it.
I hope for Ty Simpson the Jets don't take him. Yeah, I agree with you on that one.
No, if we want to talk a little bit of football, the Jets are looking right at David Bailey, an edge rusher that's 250 running a 4.4.
I was thinking a specific Ohio State edge rusher, but
Sonny Styles, I could see them making a move for Styles as well. One, if non-quarterback wise, the one player that really caught my eye was Sonny Styles, and an honorable mention, Oliviona Vega for Penn State, the offensive lineman. because there was a lot of good O linemen in this combine that most likely are going to make huge impacts for a lot of these teams. Because the number one issue currently right now in the NFL is that a lot of these QBs are getting sacked way too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also go ahead.
Did you guys see that Denzel Boston interview of him talking all sassy to the reporter? He's talking like this about quarterbacks. I'm going to pull it up real quick while you guys are talking.
In addition to Taylor Green and Ty Simpson, I thought I was pretty surprised with Drew Aller. Oh, and yeah, Pinstripe Husker, it was a 4.36 and a 43 vertical. Drew Aller surprised me with his arm strength. Very impressive. I mean, these guys consistently were throwing accurate long balls, 60-plus yards. And Garrett Nussmeier also looked like, didn't look like the quarterback he was at LSU at the Combine. Threw with great arm strength, too, and accuracy. So here's the thing. When it comes to Ethan, I don't necessarily know if he's in that same tier of quarterbacks, and I don't know if he would have had the same arm strength that these quarterbacks showed. I mean, they were hitting accurate long balls, 60-plus yards consistently. I just don't know. I'm not saying he isn't, but I could see why there's some hesitation. So I guess we'll see at Rutgers Pro Day. I could be wrong, and ultimately, I wish him nothing but the best.
All right, Denzel Boston lives to see another day. I can't find it, but I think
the only thing I saw about Denzel, real fast before we move on out of the subject, he did not have a good combine if you're not going to run. He dropped a lot of passes. Him and Malachi Fields were more of the iffier wide receivers that I saw, because especially during that gauntlet, they were dropping things that were right here, and they were catching a lot like this. And one thing, Steve Smith, shout out to him, Steve Smith Sr. One thing he taught me about when it comes to wide receivers is that you want a lot of hand catchers, not a lot of body catchers.
Yeah.
And Denzel Boston, when he's in stride, we already know his primary role for a lot of offenses is going to be that one-on-one guy, especially in the red zone. He's going to be a red zone threat the same way that he was at Washington. One of the best catches that he had on the day was when he was doing a fade route. Even though he did break out for the fade a little bit deeper than what the coaches were wanting him to do, he was able to run a good route and still make an impressive catch on the ball. But especially, I would say, on those deep routes, the go ball that he dropped when it was right here, right in his hands like this, that was bad in front of a lot of scouts.
I mean, every receiver it happens to at some point or another, but that's when times are at its most important for sure. And let me ask you a question related to the Combine. Aside from like a Patrick Mahomes leaping cross-body throw, what significance does a vertical have for a quarterback?
Outside of just explosiveness, that's why the thing is, when you look at his 40 time and a lot of his broad jump and his vert jump times, that means he's very explosive and he has a strong lower body, which means as a QB, it's going to be harder for him to get tackled, and he's able to most likely escape out of a lot of tough situations in the pocket.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I guess you can leap over diving edge rushers.
Yeah, I was going to say something similar. Like when you have that kind of vertical, it means you've got a really powerful core. And if you've got a really powerful core, it probably means you have really good balance, which is important for a quarterback in the pocket and outside the pocket. And it's also explosiveness. So, those things I think are not primary characteristics for what makes a great quarterback, but they're all very important secondary ones that help complete the picture.
I just want to get into real fast. The grades for all the QBs is out. None of the QBs scored higher than a 7. The highest was Fernando Mendoza at a 6.7. Where do you guys think Ethan would have graded? The lowest grade is 5.6. Joe Fanau and Jalen Daniels, both tying for that. So lowest is 5.6, highest is 6.7. Where do you think?
Out of what number? Like 6.7 out of what? What's the highest number you can get?
The highest number for the Combine was 6.7. So I think it's out of 10.
Oh.
Wow, they're strict then.
What do you think will be the highest? Maybe the highest is a 7 because no one is grading higher than 7. So I guess the highest is 7, lowest is 5.
Okay. Yeah, Ethan, he would have had a 5.240, man. Like, that's the only thing that would hold him back. I think he would check off all the throwing numbers, maybe not ace them, but check them off. So I think he'd be around, maybe mid-lower fives. And he that's why I think he would have benefited from coming here, showing off that he's more than just another Rutgers quarterback. He would have shown that he's an NFL talent.
I think he would have been good, not great. I think he would have been middle of the road, middle of the pack, maybe a 5-7 or something like that. And my question about him going to the combine is this: what more were we going to learn about Ethan at the combine that we really haven't already seen? I'm not sure about that. And again, it goes back to my point where I just don't know if he's in that top tier of quarterbacks.
Well, I guess that's what the scouts were thinking too, that they already have all the tape.
Somebody agrees with me finally. It's very rare.
To be fair, you agreed with them. They didn't agree with you.
Fair enough.
Yeah, obviously there's other Rutgers players that maybe should have gotten an invite, maybe shouldn't have. But to me, it really seemed like Ethan was the most glaring left out. Because when you think of like prospects for Rutgers, I mean, Ian Strong stayed another year. Gus Zielinskis back for another year. To me, it just seemed like Ethan was, DT Sheffield maybe, but he didn't have the best numbers. And he was wide receiver 3 for most of the year.
Yeah. Ethan looked like a primary guy for the combine out of everybody that is even eligible for the draft. I can't really think of anybody on the defensive side. Jet Elod maybe if they wanted to look at him. But truly the best combine guy. That's why I'm excited for Rutgers Pro Day, because I really want to see their numbers. Because seeing what we saw at the combine, a lot of guys did not do any of the drills or did not really do a lot of the testing. So I really want to be able to just see what would these Rutgers guys would have done if they were invited to Indianapolis and try to compare the numbers.
Maybe I would have liked to see Mo Toure get the invite. I know that he's ranked. He's not really ranked among the top prospects, and it's unfortunately really just because of injury history. I believe he tore his ACL twice in college, and I think he's 24 or 25. So that's really got to be it, because his numbers are good, and he started for Miami team that made it to the championship game.
Yeah, he's 24.
So let me ask you guys a question, since there's,
a lot of Miami guys didn't get an invite.
Yeah,
it's true.
Mo Toure actually going back, Jason? That's crazy if true. I don't think he is. Let me see.
Yeah, Miami only got the only linebacker that was invited was Wesley Bisciante.
I take it back. Mo Toure is going back to Miami for his 8th year of college.
How is that possible?
2 injury years and COVID year.
Oh my God, this is ridiculous. Yeah,
honestly, for the record, I know we've talked about this a million times. I don't think that an injury should give you another year. That's just my opinion.
No, I firmly disagree with that.
Well,
because you lost a year, especially I would say if the injury happened before a certain week, you shouldn't be able to get an extra year if your injury happened in week 10 and beyond. But especially if you're getting hurt during spring or during the summer, you didn't get to play that year.
Well,
so getting that year omitted because of you getting hurt in practice is just asinine.
Now, look, I know you got the unique perspective, and I respect it, but you wouldn't get an extra year in your contract if you got injured in the NFL. That's all.
Listen, if you got to play college football 8 years, I don't care how many injuries you've had, you're not going to the NFL. All right, it's just not happening. 8 years, give me a break.
Maybe Donovan, maybe a compromise would be you get 1 year of
that's what a medical red shirt was supposed to be. That's the thing. Yeah. Medical red shirt shouldn't be multiple years. You shouldn't be able to get multiple red shirts or multiple waivers. Once you already have a medical red shirt, you can't waiver for another one. I feel like it should just be one and done.
And for the ladies, that should not include having a kid. That should be its own thing.
They count that?
I don't know if they do or don't. I'm just saying.
I'm not going to talk about something I don't know like that.
What is with this COVID thing where, because of COVID,
a lot of players didn't get to play.
Yeah.
6 games. 6
Why?
games, and especially if you're an FCS guy, they didn't get to play till spring
Why?
because of COVID.
Yeah,
The restrictions
that was like,
and
remember
So
during that year,
that
that was
March-
still during the season.
March
You're tell-
Madness got canceled.
You're telling me these 19, 20, 21-year-old elite athletes that COVID posed any threat to them
No,
whatsoever?
they didn't know. Remember when Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert got COVID? Everyone's like, are they gonna die?
Yeah, Gobert shut down the NBA.
Yeah,
Although
well,
it would have happened either way, but
COVID
Gobert,
would have given them
not
the
a good
sequels.
it wasn't a good look for Gobert, but now we know it would have happened regardless.
But for a lot of these guys, especially at that time, they just didn't know how to have a season ran because they wanted to have fans there. And that's why, especially on a lot of these sidelines during COVID, remember, it was 6 feet apart. You got to be 6 feet away from everybody. A lot of those sidelines, especially in college, there was just chairs all over the place.
Yeah.
Barely anybody near the benches. You had to be separated into 2 different sides. It's not like how it is now where post-COVID or even before COVID, everybody was just on one long bench, 2 long benches, and just next to, like, shoulder to shoulder next up to everybody.
Well, I don't know about you guys. I don't know about you guys at all with this 6-foot rule, but it doesn't take COVID for me to just stay 6 feet away from people, generally speaking, in life. So I'm not sure what this rule was, that why it was so special.
I just think it was so counterproductive that they were enforcing all this stuff, and then when you're on the field, on the court, on the in the ring, whatever, you're having physical contact with your opponent the entire time and your teammates.
Exactly.
Yeah, the only, because I was in high school during that time, so the way they tried to combat that was where everybody was wearing some sort of like mask under the helmet. I'm happy they didn't do that in
That sounds terrible.
college or the pros because it was a terrible idea as a person that had to be wearing it during games.
It
But
sucks during class, let alone during a game or during a workout.
You know what my philosophy was when I was teaching? I said, I'm not wearing a mask. I know I'll get COVID, and that's just going to be the way it is. And sure enough, I got COVID twice. And
I've gotten it like 4 times, maybe 5.
I really,
Yeah, it keeps happening.
I just felt like the masks weren't effective.
So did your university enforce masks or no?
Yes.
All right, I'll make sure that doesn't go on record then.
Oh, I got in trouble for it. This was 5 years ago, so it's already.
Gotcha. Yeah. Our rule was really just like if there was no one around you that was like either not immune, susceptible, or there were no staff members around, take a quick breather. But I think, you know what? Okay, this is so off topic, so this is the last thing I'll say about it. I remember when Cuomo was still governor of New York, he enforced the rule that if you're going to be out like past, like I think it was 10 o'clock or 8 o'clock.
Yeah, that was early COVID.
In New York, you gotta be having food or getting food. And so bars around the city started making a thing called Cuomo chips where you give them $1, they give you a bag of chips and you go sit down.
Well, since we're on this topic, the truth of the matter is, all joking aside, COVID was very serious for people who were older and suffered from comorbidities, including obesity and diabetes. My dad, for example, he died from COVID in 2022, and he had gotten the vaccine twice, but he was 82 and he had, diabetes and he was overweight. My mom went out to some function with her friends, contracted it and brought it back home. And then he was in the hospital for a week, getting better and doing just fine. And then all of a sudden, it tanked. And so I don't mean to make light of COVID. It was serious for a lot of people and a very difficult time.
Yeah, for sure. I kind of took it as you, of all people, can make light of it.
Yeah, right. I'm a unique one, I guess. And that's not necessarily a good thing. Well, sometimes.
Nah.
I'm a cross between Bill Murray and Sharon Stone.
Good Lord.
Polar I don't know where that came from, but let's go on to the people who are interested in hearing about Rutgers.
Yeah, my fault. No, you know what? Sometimes these conversations are fun.
They are. I'm starting to feel sick as a result of it now. You better not be giving me COVID.
You a hypochondriac? You got a medical OCD or something?
No, I'm not a hypochondriac. At 50 years old, you start worrying more about your health preventative-wise. And so you start taking tests and making sure you don't. But you try to act reasonably, eat reasonably, exercise, and and ultimately genetics are what they are, and you gotta let the chips fall where they may.
Yes, sir. All right, so I think that's it for you. You got anything else for the combine or?
No, just overall, you can even include any players that it don't even gotta be non-Rutgers, but when watching the combine, who was the number one guy that you would want for your favorite NFL team? Because I'll start off first, and the Ravens need to pick Vega from Penn State or Pregnon.
Oh my! Wait, is he the one running insane 40?
Pregnon?
No, it was a Penn State OL.
Oh, Vega.
Yeah.
Let me just look right now, because I just remembered his kick slide drill where he almost knocked the coach that was holding the pad off of his feet with one simple punch. Live results. Let me just go to his 4-yard dash real fast.
Yeah, I know who I want whenever you're done with that.
Vega ran a
I think it was like a 4.4 or something like that, or 4.5.
Yeah.
That's insane.
It wasn't a 4.5. It wasn't a 4.5. I think it was around a 5. It was on a 4.9. It was 4.9.
40
I think 4.9.
Oh yeah, 4.94. My bad. Yeah, I sticking with the offensive line, sticking with guard actually for the New York Jets. This is not a first-round pick, but regardless, I want him for 2 reasons. Well, 3 reasons actually. 1, his name is awesome. 2, his hairstyle is awesome. And 3, he had a very good combine, and that is Gennings Dunker from Iowa, from the University of Iowa.
What's his name?
Gennings Dunker.
Who the hell names
red mullet.
Red hair, mullet, 6 stash. He had a 6.2 prospect grade. Eventual starter. He is projected to be the 6th best combine guard, or he has the total score of a 6th best combine guard.
I love the name.
He ran a I believe it was a 5.18, 6'5", 319. Yeah, this guy, and especially because the Jets, we have Olu Fashanu and Armand Membo, and they had really good years on the outside, and our interior is where we were kind of weak. So kind of the opposite of Rutgers, where the interior offensive line was strong and the outside was a little weak. The Jets' offensive line was the polar opposite, but we also have Elijah Vera Tucker as a free agent. If we want to avoid spending a pretty penny on a guy who probably wants to go to a winning team, I think we should draft Gennings Dunker 100%.
Well, hold on a second here. So let me just paint this picture for you. You got Daddy's little girl who she just graduated from the University of Iowa, looking forward to a bright future, comes home to Daddy and says, "Daddy, I'm getting married." He says, "To who?" She says, "Gennings Dunker." Hey, I'm just saying, there's a concern there.
And she's going to be...
He had a really good Senior Bowl. He had a good Senior Bowl.
She's going to be sweet Lauren Dunker, Rosie Dunker, Harriet.
I love the name. I think it'd be awesome to have him on the Jets.
Sick name. Hold on. You know what? I'm pulling up a picture of him right now. Okay, I have it right here. I'm going to share my screen.
You got to show one of him just trotting around.
I was just going to show the picture real quick, just so everyone at home could get an idea of what we're talking about here. Look at this man. This is peak male athleticism right here. This right here, Gennings Dunker, Iowa. I know we're not supposed to like Iowa that much because, Big Ten, whatever. But, dude,
Gennings... we're talking about him as a player. We're not talking about him because
he belongs in the WWE.
He is probably the definition of alpha male coming out of the 2026 class.
Oh, no. Well, if we want to talk alpha male, we got to say Markel Bell out of Miami. That was one lineman that caught my eye. He's just envision this. 6'8", north of 330, running a 5'4", 40.
Damn. My God.
Hauling
That's fast. That's fast for a big dude. That's really fast.
Yeah.
Oh,
Also,
Him and Dunker are going to be steals day 3. Easy day 3 steals.
yes.
Jesus.
Maybe I was a little too harsh on Ethan if all these guys are running that fast for their size. Maybe Ethan would run like a 4.8 or something.
I think he would run a 4.85, lowest 4.95.
Yeah, that's a little more reasonable. So I retract my 5.2 claim from earlier.
I won't lie though, with everybody running 4.4s, it's starting to make 4.4 not as fast.
That's true.
Because it's
crazy.
It's starting to look like edge rusher speed now.
This is the fastest combine, right?
Fastest combine in the history.
Yeah.
We haven't seen this many people run sub 4.5s ever in the history of football. So it just shows you how the game, to the people that are watching right now, I'm sorry for not talking strictly Rutgers, but this is a full football breakdown. The game is evolving and the game is getting faster and faster than it ever has been before.
Yeah, for sure.
Does that mean it's less safe?
I want to say that.
Yeah, we've got technology now.
I think due to how high paced and how much it is on a lot of these players' bodies, we're seeing more evolution, especially in the health aspect of things, and seeing how team doctors are taking care of players, and how a lot of these leagues are trying to prevent injuries from even happening from the science of it all.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, I was going to help you out there, Jason, but it looks like Our Lads has updated their depth chart to 2026. Let me see if they did that for Rutgers real quick. Actually.
I agree, Jason. It's getting faster but less physical. I agree with that.
Oh, okay. So guess what? Unexpected segment alert. We have an updated Rutgers depth chart according to Our Lads. This is not final, but y'all interested in this real quick?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I'm about to look at it. I'm about to
All right.
go right now to it.
Quarterback, Dylan Lonergan. Running back, Antoine Raymond. Wide receivers 1, 2, and 3, KJ Duff, Ben Black, Vernon Allen III. Offensive line, Ryder Langsdale, Dante Chin, Hank Zelinskas, Kobena Asamoah, Tyler Needham. And then we go to tight end, Cam Anthony. That's the offense. Defense, Malachi Davis, Rondo Porter, Zaire Ngoy in the middle, Udan Burnett, right defensive end, so that's the 4. Wide linebacker, Abram Wright. Mid linebacker, Ty Morris. And then we got Mikey Nunn, left cornerback. The safety pairing of Kaj Sanders and Chris Joins. Right cornerback of Bradley Jones. And nickelback, Kevin Humes from Maryland.
Oh, wow. So what sticks out to you? What jumps out at you about that depth chart right away? I mean, Dylan Lonergan already.
Whoa, why is the Wood not seen as?
What's that?
My bad. I just saw Zamir Dawood's is supposed to be backup.
Wait, Zamir Dawood backup.
That's surprising.
What to Bradley Jones. And Bradley Jones, didn't he? I mean, look, not that Villanova, because Villanova isn't FBS, but they were still really freaking good. Bradley Jones is coming in from Citadel. So
he's supposed to be the fastest corner that was available in the portal, but there's no way you can't have Dawood as the starting boundary corner while having Bradley be the field corner.
And Doug Lou,
speed in that aspect, while Dawood has been shown to be better in press coverage.
Is what surprises me the most, because he's projected backup defensive tackle after missing all of this past year. Redshirt senior. I mean, look, this is according to Our Lads. Our Lads is a very reputable source, but it's not the final depth chart. But this is just like a senior insider perspective.
It's surprising that they have him as number 1 already. Dylan
Lonergan. I've been checking this since the portal opened, and they only just now updated it yesterday.
It makes you wonder what AJ Sarace is going to do.
I'm surprised Desir Carter is player 3, and that could just be because he's a freshman. That's funny that they have DT Sheffield, even though he declared for the draft. Gus Zelinskas, even though he declared. Ethan, same thing. Even though these guys are listed as player 5, I guess in case they're thinking, let's see if they sue for eligibility or some shit.
It just makes me
I can
wonder
believe that.
what's going to go on. What's going to go on with AJ Sarace? I mean, I'm sure they probably told them this is preliminary and that they'll have a chance to compete. But it's surprising that they put it out this early with Lonergan number 1 without even having practiced at Rutgers.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm really excited for Malachi Davis and Rondo Porter. That's going to be a good little 1-2 tandem on the left side.
Agreed.
Honestly, this
I
could
agree
be
with that. And
Rondo Porter is going to have a better year than he's going to have a better year than anyone on Rutgers defense last year in the front four.
That's
you
true.
see him having a better year than Weaver, Neal, and I'm blanking on the D tackles right now. I shouldn't be.
It was O'Neal, Walker, Thompson. We got Keyshawn
Walker.
Griffin. Yeah.
Yeah,
Jordan
Walker.
Walker. He was a defensive captain last year, so shout out to him. His on-field presence was definitely more impactful than his stats suggest, but his stats were not that impressive. I believe he had what was it, 1.5 sacks and like 20 tackles or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do think
I'm just hoping. I just want to go back to what Adam said about Lonergan and Sarace. I'm hoping Sarace uses this as fuel. He should look Sarace if he somehow stumbles onto our stream and looks at our lads and sees the depth chart. He should be using that as something to motivate him through the rest of winter workouts and the entire spring ball.
Oh,
that should
also,
be something that plays in the back of his head.
Another thing, Wadiq Collier is still on the third string. Wadiq Collier Johnson now. He took, I believe, his dad's name and his mom's name, the hyphen. So yeah, he's defensive end 3 on the right side, according to.
Wow, that surprises me.
And he got his weight up too. I was checking his workout videos out. He got his weight up. I believe he's at 230 something now, and he has a pretty impressive deadlift. Let me look at that real quick.
You think it's a matter of his weight? Do you think that he needs to put on more weight?
I guess he still does.
I need to see how much he's officially weighing in at now, or like how much. Because I know at the time he was 220. He was 220. He was 230. When he first got to Rutgers, he was 230. So possibly right now he's up 10 pounds.
What's his height?
But the reason why he's so far behind at the third string in the depth chart is because he's behind 2 seniors. He's behind 2 seniors and not 2 seniors. He's actually behind 3 seniors if you include the left side, because he's not just going to be a right defensive end. He's going to play both sides. He's going to play both sides.
Yeah, our lad still has
a lot of vets in front of him.
He's 6. They have him at 6'7", 215, and that's just not holding up.
Oh, yeah. And Jason makes a good comment.
He's not 215. He's not 215.
Definitely not.
He's playing the wrong sport if he's 6'7", 215.
Yeah, I mean, even if that is, credible, I think what Jason says is right. I think spring practice is going to be where Shiano makes determinations. And you're going to see, I think, a depth chart that might look a little bit differently.
Oh, yeah, for sure. This isn't the final word. It's just the first look at something from a source that overall they know their stuff. Our lads, they don't speculate too much. Although this is mostly speculation, but it's speculation within reason. It's educated.
It's a credible source, so it's probably some truth to it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure that if the game was tomorrow, Dylan Lonergan would get the first shot. I'm sure about that.
I feel like that's what's going to happen during the spring game.
Yeah, and
he's going to get the first half of attempts and snaps.
And Ben Black is for sure going to get wide receiver too if things were to stand today. Like, this is pretty accurate. Isaiah Cook is a backup, I just noticed. Backup center to Hank Zelinskas.
Interesting.
I just want to ask y'all, who do you see on the offensive side and the defensive side that potentially by the beginning of the season would make a jump in the depth chart from where they are now to a starter?
Yeah, for me, it's got to be Desir Carter. I know he's only going to be a freshman, true freshman at that, but right now he's listed as a third stringer wide receiver. I think he would be around the Fama Toure, Michael Thomas, second string wide receiver type. I mean, Vernon Allen surprises me as the number one slot guy. I know that he had a good spring game, but he didn't see any action during the season. Or no, he did. He got one reception for 18 yards. And Desir Carter is our only 4-star coming in via commitment this year. So to me, Desir Carter, Hollywood Fats is his nickname. And he's definitely going to get a chance to be potentially wide receiver 3, but I think he could be wide receiver 4 or 5.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult for me to say because I really haven't seen any of a lot of the new faces play. So I really don't know what's going to happen. I think that it's going to be interesting to see how the quarterback battle turns out because Lonergan, while he was highly touted, had a pretty uneven year last year. So I don't think that story has been told yet. So we'll see what happens.
I see this is an opportunity for potentially Mashoud to make a step and show that, hey, I could potentially play a lot of these games because he was in these opportunities last year, just coming off the bench. He has a full year now to be involved in the system and have a chance to impress the coaches because especially with Rutgers getting a new offensive line coach, I can already see that chemistry being built based off the tape that he saw from Mashoud during those games against Washington, Iowa, and Norfolk State.
Yeah, I think to piggyback on that, right now it's projected as Langsdale left tackle, Dante Chin left guard, Hank Zielinski center, Kwabena Asamoah right guard, Tyler Needham right tackle. If you asked me before reading this what our starting front 5 would look like, I would have gotten 3 of these 5. I would have said Dante Chin would start left guard. I would have said Kwabena Asamoah, no doubt, would be right guard. And I would have said Tyler Needham would start as a tackle. But I would have said Mashoud Giwa would start over Ryder Langsdale. And I would have said Isaiah Cook would start over Hank Zielinski.
I can see that. Especially since we got Isaiah Cook from the portal. And I feel like for Rutgers, they're trying to see what the little brother can do because at the end of the day, he came from a program in Colorado. So they're trying to see if he has anything that Gus was, any sort of similarities to Gus. Yeah. Because if they're able to get that, there's most likely that's what's going to lead to Hank being the day one starter. But I like you said, I could see Cook stealing that spot away as well because he's another guy that he might have came from a smaller school, but he's coming around a system that put him in the spotlight early, and he has a lot of experience on what he has to do. Zielinski during his time at Colorado didn't play as much, and last year he sat the entire year, while Cook is coming off of 3 straight seasons of playing. All 3 of those years, he got high honors in his conference. So it could be a situation where if Cook's able to get the playbook down, there's a chance that he could override Hank.
Yeah, I get the perspective because Gus Zielinski and Holland Pierce are probably our 2 most touted offensive linemen in recent memory. So for you to have the little brother of Gus play this, not just on the same side of the football or the same role in football, but the same position too at center, I guess why not give him a shot at first team to start and see if Isaiah Cook can earn his starting spot, even though I believe he very much could.
100%. It's funny seeing how a lot of the teams try to say, oh, okay, since they're both related, maybe you can do what the big brother did. Because we've seen this time and time again in college. At least for my recruiting class in 2021, we saw it with the Brockermeyers. Those 2 offensive linemen that ended up going to Alabama. The only one that's currently still playing college football was Tommy. He was at Miami last year. Well, his other brother didn't play anymore. So it kind of is interesting to see this dynamic play for Rutgers.
I'm sure that Indy wishes they could have had their Mendoza little bro stay with them after the championship run.
Yeah.
No, I knew he was going to be an eye target for everybody because they saw what Fernando did and say, "Oh,
yeah." Remember when everyone thought Everyone thought Ohio State murdered Fernando Mendoza on the first play, and they were like, "Oh, well, at least we got another one." And it turns out all he did was hand the ball off once, and then Fernando was like, "I'm good."
I'm not gonna lie, that game was the first time that I found out that he had a little brother. I didn't have ball.
Yeah,
I didn't know ball. I didn't know
ball either. I didn't know ball. Well, I knew that his brother was on the team as a backup, but I didn't know his brother's name. I didn't know anything about him. I didn't know if he was a freshman, sophomore, junior. I just knew that he had a backup brother on the team. Hey, that's why we're
first time hearing how he had any siblings.
Yeah, that's why we're Scarlet Knight with college football and not Hoosiers VOCFB. By the way, great show. Definitely check out Indiana VOCFB, especially if you're sick of being 7-6 or 5-6, whatever, 5-7. But if you're up for the grind and you believe this year is the year, stick around here, man, because next year is always the year. And speaking of next year, we got some projections coming in, hot, mostly from myself. And so I want to see, some of you might be optimistic, some of you might be pessimistic. Feel free to follow along in the comments, or if you're watching this after, leave a comment on the comments section. But Adam,
shout out to the Broad Raptors.
Yes, and I got some over-unders here for next season, total yards, total touchdowns, total whatever. Let me know what you guys think. The first one is either quarterback, like total, not one or the other. 16.5 touchdown passes.
Oh, with this offense, I could say over. I'm saying over because not only the fact that we're known as a running school, Rutgers, at least from last year, has been seen as a school that can run the rock. They're going to try to stop. They're going to try to stop Raymond. They're going to try to stop Antoine Raymond, which is going to open up a lot of opportunities for KJ Duff, Ben Black, or any of these young guys as well. That's where I could see Deshaun Carter playing a significant role in Rutgers, being able to be a guy that doesn't have a lot of tape on him, new guy, be able to show some stuff in those first couple of weeks, the first couple of opportunities. And I could lead to a lot of passing touchdowns. As we saw with Lonergan, he didn't throw as many last year at Boston College, possibly due to the lack of weapons. But giving him a guy that was top 4 or top 5 in receiving touchdowns in the Big Ten entirely, and this is a Big Ten that had about 10 of these guys be in the draft combine just this weekend, and KJ Duff, there's a chance we can see Lonergan throw for around 20, the same amount that Ethan Kelly and Manis threw last year.
I think so.
And you concur, Adam?
I concur because we have a really strong receiving core, and there's depth there. Lonergan, he's got a great arm. We're throwing the ball, and we're going to try to be a balanced offense. I could see him, with 24 touchdown passes to about 8 or 9 receptions.
Play action is going to be Lonergan's best friend next season.
Okay, well, I think you guys kind of both answered the next question I have, which is over, under, and I'm guessing the answer is over. 5.5. Oh, and by the way, I think over 2 for the first one. 5.5 touchdowns to receivers not named KJ Duff, and I'm guessing the answer is over.
Over
5.5. Oh, that's tough. Because for a lot of these guys, KJ Duff was that primary target, especially when they got down to the red zone. It was either Raymond who was running the ball in, or KJ Duff who had 7 touchdowns on the year. Most of 5 of them were within 30 going in. So that's tough. I could say I'm saying under on this because a lot of these guys, they're going to be used in the middle of the field. They're going to be used from the 20-yard line on their side to the 20-yard line on the defending side. So, on the opposing side. Apologies. KJ Duff's money zone, or where he's going to make a lot of his tape and a lot of what a lot of scouts are looking for, is going to be from 20 yards and in.
Valid. So you're saying KJ has over 15 then, right?
Yeah. I can see KJ having 10 on the year. He had 7 last year.
Yeah. Adam, what do you think? Over, under 5.5 for anyone else?
Over. I think it's going to be a great year for the receivers, and I think that KJ is going to have 10, 11, 12 touchdowns. I think Ben Black's going to have a year. I think he's going to have.
I'm excited for Ben Black.
How many touchdowns do you think Ben Black would have, or anybody else on the receiving core would have? Who would be the second guy to you? I think it would be Ben Black to you, Gabe. Who would be that second guy? Ben Black?
Ben Black, 7.
I think Ben Black can get a solid 6, and to me, everyone else gets maybe 2. Besides KJ, of course, I think KJ gets around 10. Ben Black gets around 6. Everyone else gets 2. And Cam Anthony, that's going to be an interesting year because, like I said, I think he has 7 total catches in college football, and now he's tight end 1 at Rutgers. Not that that's the most demanding role, but it's still starting in the Big Ten. Or sorry, 9 catches.
Yeah, especially since Rutgers, like at least last year, their offense ran a lot of 3 wide receiver sets, so they were a huge 11 personnel team.
Yeah, and Jason's taking the over 2. Next one, Adam, I think I know your answer because I know you're big on Jashawn Benjamin. 6.5 carries per game by Clay Thevenin.
I'm going to go under.
Because of Jashawn or because of Antoine?
Both. I think he's going to get 4 to 5 carries. I don't see him getting 7 carries on average.
Over under 7?
Yeah.
6.5. So 7 would be the over.
Oh,
that's a good one.
I see him getting 6. At least to start off the season, I see him getting 6. Maybe during the season, from I would say week 9 onwards, I think they might split up the shares a little bit.
Yeah.
So they keep Raymond's legs fresh because they don't want any sort of injuries to happen. So, but right now, I think per game he's most likely going to be around 6 because Rutgers is going to use him for more than just running the ball. He most likely going to be a guy that's going to be used on screens, 2-minute offense to be able to run routes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that he is going to get 8 to 10 to start the year and maybe get around 6 by the end of the year. So on average, I think he would on average get over 6.5. And this one is this next one is it kind of hurts that it's this many games that I could see this happening, and I'm probably taking the over. But even with the new staff on defense, 4.5 games allowing 30 or more points.
Ooh. Well, with
Kitty
4.5.
Candy.
Cute. Yeah, 4.5.
Oh, that's tough. Adam, you gotta go for me. I gotta think that one a little bit more.
Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue. Get it? Somewhere over.
Over, because that's what you're going with. Yeah.
That wasn't obvious. What do you think? What do you think, Chris Stanton?
Shoot, I think I'm gonna take the over as well because Rutgers has shown, even with this new upgrade offense, it might not. A lot of these issues aren't going to happen until conference play start. I don't see them having a lot of high scoring games with the likes of Boston College or Howard University. But once the Big Ten schedule starts rolling around and they got to play Michigan, you got to play USC, which Lincoln Riley is known for being a high octane offense, no matter who's playing what on that offense, and then playing Indiana as well, Penn State as well. Those are 5 teams just right there that could put up at least 27 to 30.
It's basically, do all 5 of those teams get 30, or do 4 of those and 1 or 2 others? I mean, for reference, Ohio is a good offense. We still allowed 31 to them. We allowed 37 to Iowa. We allowed 31 to Minnesota. Not great. I know it's completely different this year, but it's still Coach Schiano in charge of everything.
Yeah. Too many high octane offenses with USC going at Penn State.
Yeah, USC. I'm just looking at it one by one. USC is going to score 30. Indiana is going to score 30. Michigan can score 30.
They probably
Penn
will.
State can score 30. The Penn State game is going to be one where it could go either way, but I truly believe, as we saw last year, it was heavily offense. So I can see that being again this year.
Nebraska.
But I can see them having good. I can see them having good defensive performances against teams like Wisconsin, Northwestern, Maryland. They held Maryland to, I think, only two touchdowns last year.
Northwestern, they have Aiden Childs now, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but we're not winning in Camp Randall. I hate to break you guys the bad news. Everyone takes Wisconsin lightly. Camp Randall, tough place to play.
Look, I'm not saying.
Well, the thing is, it's not going to be a tough. It's a tough place to play, but it's not going to be a high scoring game. That's what I see. It's not going to be high scoring.
So wait, you said they're going to score. Donovan said they're going to score. These teams are going to score 30 on us. My question is, 30 what? 30 touchdowns? 30 sacks?
30 points.
30 interceptions?
Maybe 30 touchdowns combined between the six of them.
Maybe 30 interceptions.
30
Is it possible that Indiana gets 30 interceptions against Dylan Lonergan?
You were praising. It sounds like you're calling Dylan Lonergan the Messiah by how much you love this kid.
Look. All I'm saying, I'm joking, of course, but look at the Oregon game. What a massacre! Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Indiana is going to be that game where I just know the scores are going to be high because they have a guy in Nick Marsh who is ready to just unleash havoc now that he finally has a QB that's going to throw him the ball correctly.
Nick Marsh at Indiana is scary. That's like if KJ Duff went to like Oregon or something.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's 4 right there. I'll go with another one. I had it lower down the list, but it makes sense to say it now. 40 plus points allowed 2.5 times.
3 times? No. I'll take the under. I think
I'm hoping that it's 2 times. Obviously, I hope it's 0, but I'm thinking it's 2 times that it happens. It happens against Indiana, and honestly, it happens against Penn State. I hate to say it. Penn State is honestly just such a good offense every year. And even though they're losing their 2 best running backs, I'm still really high on them with their new Iowa State acquisitions at quarterback and as their head coach. I think that's going to be their identity is once again going to be offense. And I'll tell you what, our defense being incredibly new once again, and this time it feels like it's sort of a lower ceiling but way higher floor year for the defense. It's tough to say that this defense will stop a Penn State offense.
Well, I don't think it's going to be the Penn State offense that breaks this
USC
defense. I think it's USC. Their offense is just really fast. It's going to wear them out.
Yeah, that's
fair. This new team is going to be week 3 of the season. Like that's the thing. Rutgers last year they had 4 games to get themselves ready for the Big Ten. The Big Ten come in the middle of September this time around. They got 1 game against UMass, 1 game against Boston College. Then it's Big Ten time. So
and then it's
early in September. That's going to be one of the higher scoring games, at least for this defense, because that's going to be their first big challenge.
One of my favorite songs is by Queen. It's called Under Pressure.
Pressure.
Pushing down on me. Anyway, I don't have a good voice, but I do take the under on this one. Although I will say, as far as USC goes, look, here's how USC's receivers are. When they land at Newark Airport, right, the USC wide receiver should stay on the runway. And then when another plane comes and gets ready to take off, they should tell the USC players, why don't you run with the plane? I guarantee you, by the end of the runway, they'll be close to that plane. And if they extend their arms like wings, they'll probably fly. I predict at least one USC receiver flies during the Rutgers game. He is so fast. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
Jason. It's going to be it's going to be one of the players that I want to look at during that game is going to be the Citadel pickup in Brooks. The Citadel corner, because he's quote unquote one of the fastest defenders in college football. So I want to see how fast that really is.
Isn't that a military school, like a military academy?
Yeah.
So by the way, I would like to apologize to Denzel Boston. It was not him. It was Mekhi Lemon out of USC that had the disaster interview when
I'm not apologizing to anybody whose last name is after a city.
Denzel. And it's funny because he's on the polar opposite side too. Okay, that's 5 down. I got 6
Bradley
more.
Jones.
Yeah, I got 6 more here. Next one is over under 10.5 games started by Dylan Lonergan.
Good one.
Because there's some room to say maybe throw in.
Can you say that again?
Yeah, 10.5 games started by Dylan Lonergan.
A very overlooked.
I think he's.
Go ahead, Donovan. I'm sorry.
Barring anything catastrophic, it should be Lonergan running the offense for the entire season. Barring anything catastrophic.
Gabe, Donovan, often in the 1980s, there's an overlooked movie, but with Sylvester Stallone called Over the Top, when he wins the arm wrestling championship. Highly recommend it. He's going to start every game.
Okay. Wow. We got some disagreement in the comments, and I am going to say, God, that's such a tough number to, assuming health. I'm gonna say assuming health. I could see it being under. I really think that at some point this year, AJ Surace gets the keys. And I think it's more so because AJ Surace is really good than it is Dylan Lonergan bad. But I'm going to say that I'm going to say Dylan Lonergan starts around 8 games total, and AJ Surace either gets a 3-game stretch in the middle of the year or to close out the year where he starts. That is, I guess, my hot take.
I think AJ Surace's prove it time is going to be spring, fall camp, and then it's going to end right around week 4 when they play Howard. If he can't impress them by that Howard, if he can't impress Greg Schiano enough to let him trust him to run the offense, because it's not just about talent, it's about trust as well. If he can't trust him enough to run that offense by the Howard game, I don't think it's going to happen.
Okay, that makes sense. So you're saying right before the crucial Big Ten stretch, right before the bye week begins. I'm still gonna stand by my point, but I can see it happening either way. Next one is Antoine Raymond's 1,400.5 total yards.
Total.
Yeah.
Shoot. He had 1,200 last year. I would take that over if it was 1,400 rushing.
Sheesh.
I think this is going to be a big year. For Antoine Raymond. I think this is going to come down to how well the offensive line is going to be. If the offensive line is what we think it's going to be, just based off of the talent that they're bringing in, there's a chance with how tough of a runner Raymond is, especially it might not happen during the first quarter where he's going to get a lot of these home run runs, but those buildup of 4-yard to 6-yard carries, they're sprinkle in a little bit of splash 20-plus yard runs that are definitely going to happen during this season, is going to lead to Raymond having a chance to run for 1,400 yards. He was only 200 yards short this year, and he wasn't a starter until week 5.
Let me ask you this, though, just to counter that. I'm not saying I'm taking the under, but do you think that some of his production this year was due to teams game planning around the pass and sleeping on Antoine?
Yeah, I'll say that. I would say before the Maryland game, yeah, but everything after the Maryland game, we just saw how good of a running back that he is. The game that truly flipped everyone's perception was when he ran for 20 yards, and that was week 10, if I was correct. Week 10 or week 11, if I'm correct.
He'll be 34 carries.
Yeah. Everything else after that game, he was still a 100-yard rusher. So
he had the wheel route against Penn State too.
That's where I can say, yeah, you can say that for the first half of the year that a lot of teams were trying to combat defensively the 3-headed monster that Rutgers had at wide receiver in KJ Duff, Ian Strong, and DT Sheffield. But everything past that Maryland game, or honestly, I would say everything past that Purdue game, because Purdue he did show out. He had a really good showing against Purdue, but especially after the Maryland game, he had 189 against Penn State. So I can see him being able to put up 1,400 yards, especially in this schedule that we have, where the only two teams that are known for being stout against the run is Indiana, Michigan, and I would say Nebraska and Wisconsin. Those 4 teams.
You can see him getting 1,400. Can you see him getting 1,401? Because that's what the over-under is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to love going
for all yards. If we're talking all-purpose, if Antoine Raymond doesn't get around 1,500 yards, that's all. If he's not able to get 1,500 yards all-purpose, that's going to be a disappointing season.
Okay.
I used to love a WWF in the 80s. Hulk Hogan, Miss Elizabeth, Randy Savage. I also liked The Undertaker.
Really?
Hint, The Undertaker. No, he will not get 1,400 yards, and I'm going to tell you why. Because think about it this way. You get a rookie pitcher in the major leagues who comes in, has a great rookie year, but they falter in the second year. You want to know why? Because offenses have figured him out. Defenses aren't going to be surprised by Raymond this year. He's still going to have a very good year, but there's going to be more of a distribution among the running backs, and there's going to be a great emphasis on the passing game. I think he comes in around 1,200 to 1,300 yard total.
CJ Campbell would have been a bigger distribution, I think, if he stayed. But, of course, he went to Duke. It'll be interesting to see how things play out there with him. But I still think that, because CJ got hurt last year, I think the distribution's a little different. And, I'm still going to say I think – God bless your soul. I still think that Antoine's going to be used more as a power back. Now, he will get receptions. He's proven he can. But I think Thevenin is more a receiving back at this point than a power back. And I think that Raymond's going to get around, the 1,200, maybe 1,150 rushing. Yeah. But I don't think he gets another 200 yards receiving. I think maybe he gets – well, actually, no, that's not true. You know what? I changed my mind. He is going to get the over because – he's had too many games last year where all it takes is 1 or 2 explosive plays receiving. So a little flipperoo there. I think he gets the over.
I will say if we're saying Raymond was going to hit the under, I just want to put down 900.5 all-purpose yards for Clay Thevenin. Where do you guys stand on that?
Over. If he gets the under, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, if we're saying Raymond's going to be under, where do you see Thevenin? How much production do you see him having in the offense when it comes to rushing or just in general all-purpose?
Well, all-purpose, I'll say under, but only by like 40 or 50 yards. He'll get around 500 to 600 rushing, and then I think 200 to 250 receiving, and that'll be a crucial 200 to 250 given the fact that he'll be carrying the ball less.
Agreed.
My dream scenario for Rutgers, especially for their running game, is Antoine Raymond around 1,200 to 1,500 yards rushing or just an all-purpose, and then for Thevenin around 700 to 900 yards all-purpose.
I could see that.
If they're able to hit both of those ranges, that means the running game is really effective.
Yeah.
Jashawn Benjamin, another 200 to 300 would be nice at least. And all right, so I covered Antoine Raymond. My last, so I got 4 more here. 3 are offensive, 1 is defense. I'm gonna get the defensive one out of the way. 2.5 interceptions.
Yeah, defensive love.
2.5 interceptions in a game at any point this year.
Yes.
Over.
It's going to be the Boston College game. Oh, 2.5, 3. Yes, I can see 2 and 3 games because it's going to be early in the season. I can even say it for y'all. I know it's going to be week 1 Boston College.
Week
1 UMass. They're going to have at least 2 to 3.
UMass
Boston College is going to be a revenge game. Dylan Longren going back to Chestnut Hill. That's going to be a revenge game. The defense is going to have a chip, and then I can see the Howard game being a game where there's going to be a high amount of turnovers.
The defense is going to have a chip in Boston College. They may have a chip. It may be from the local casino. But I think that Boston College is going to run all over them. I think it's going to
come
be
on, no way.
I think BC's going to upset us. But
BC
You
is
see BC being the Ohio game. You see that kind of that comparison for it?
Yeah, something like that. But I think BC's going to be a little bit better than Ohio, and it's on the road. So you might be right, but I don't have a good feeling about that game.
I just don't know if you can compare. I know that the ACC is Power 4 conference, but Ohio was the best in their conference, and Boston College is bottom of the barrel in theirs. So,
Ohio
they were the worst in their conference.
Yeah,
it's not bad on the barrel. They were the worst.
Yeah,
they were bad last year, man. They were bad. And,
I don't know. I don't know what kind of transfers they got though. Maybe they got some good transfers. Although they lost a quarterback, they did lose a quarterback.
That's what I'm saying. I can truly see that the defense is going to play to make sure that revenge game is sweet for Lonergan. They want to make sure that revenge game is sweet, especially because I saw the fire that they played with during that Minnesota game as well. Especially when it comes to these QBs and revenge games, the entire team's behind it. Everybody wants to see the guy that left that school, went to a different school, come back and be able to show that I'm still the guy around here, even if I'm in a different jersey. So I can truly believe that the defense week 2 is going to be playing with that same type of mentality to be we got our guys back.
Yeah, and who would have thought last year that it would have been Drake Lindsay showing Minnesota, hey, we're good without Athan. That was not a storyline I was expecting at all.
After we struggled against Purdue last year.
Do you see this defense getting an interception or potentially 2 interceptions? So I would say over under 1.5 against any opponent in the Big Ten schedule.
No.
Yeah, maybe once. I think once we do it.
I think are we thinking of the same team right now?
Yeah, we face Michigan State, right?
Yeah, Michigan State.
Oh, poor Michigan State. Isn't Tom Izzo their coach? Oh wait, no, that's basketball. Sorry,
that's for the winning team. That's for their winning team. And to be honest, it seems that they're becoming little brother in that too.
Yeah, crazy enough, right? I mean, it's close because last year Michigan State looked better, but this year Michigan's. Anyways, all right, this one is kind of tough to predict, I suppose, but this is just a vibe question. Over, under, longest field goal, 53.5 yards.
For Jay? Under. He didn't do good. He didn't do well plus 50. Or 50 plus.
Still gonna,
he didn't do well 50 plus.
Jay. But
James coming back?
And we have Dane Pizarro as Dane Pizarro is the long kicker, so
he's coming back.
I gotta see how much. If they let the kickers kick during the spring game, we're gonna have to come back to this one during the spring game recap, especially just for this over under because I gotta see him kick.
But you're saying under? I'm gonna say
now under.
I'm gonna say over, and it's a meaningless kick of 55 yards to cut a lead from 38 to 35, or to gain the lead from 40 to 43. It's gonna be a garbage time kick by Dane Pizarro that goes 55.
Okay, go with me.
It's not going to be Jay Patel. He's starting. Patel will be starting, but I think it's going to be Pizarro that gets the over.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do from 54 yards. What we're going to do from 54 yards is we're going to be waving goodbye to the Indiana Hoosiers and saying, thank God we never have to play them again, or we hope we don't have to ever play them again. We will not be hitting any 54-yard field goal. The reason I say that is because I haven't seen any Rutgers kicker who either has the accuracy or the leg to do it yet. So it's a good question, but I think probably not.
Thank you. And by never play them again, you mean see you in 2 to 3 years?
Yeah, or what they're going to do from 54 yards is chase one of the Indiana running backs, and they're going to be in the end zone. We're going to be at our own 46. I mean, I hope anybody from Rutgers who's watching just knows. Come on, I'm kidding around. I'm being a little funny.
Being a wise ass.
Being a little wise ass. I'm not making fun of you. I'm saying that, I know you guys work hard and play hard, but the competition is going to be what it is this year. And I think that there will be some struggles.
Yeah, it's fair. And my last My last over-under is 19.5 touchdowns by KJ Duff and Antoine Raymond combined. And I think Donovan's frozen. I think we got some freezage.
Oh, is it cold over here, Donovan?
There we go.
Well, he doesn't have the heat
It's a
on?
little chilly in New York, but I'm just Long Island University Wi-Fi is a little rough. I apologize.
Got you. Did you hear my prompt or no?
No, can you tell me it again? I was glitching.
You're good. Over under 19.5 touchdowns by KJ Duff and Antoine Raymond combined.
Ooh. Oh, crushing that. I can see KJ Duff, especially since he's going to be wide receiver 1, going from 10, that touchdown range, 10 to 15. And Antoine Raymond, he had 12 last year. I can see him grabbing a little bit more this year. Because, yeah, Rutgers is going to be, just like last year, they're going to be a high-power offense, but instead of it being primarily through the passing game like it was last year, it's going to be through the ground game this year.
That would be special, I'll tell you. And the record for Rutgers single-season receiving touchdowns in a season is 10 touchdowns. Can you guess by who?
I'm guessing Kenny Britt.
Adam, you got a guess?
Isaiah Pacheco.
Receiving touchdowns, you're saying Pacheco?
Oh, sorry, my bad. Receiving touchdowns?
In a season,
Yeah, I have the name in my head, but I can't remember it.
Leonte Carew in 2015.
That wasn't it. Yeah.
And also tying it, Marco Battaglia in 95.
Oh,
I can see KJ Duff tying 10, potentially breaking it. I truly can see him being a 12 touchdown guy, just due to him not only getting touchdowns due to big plays, but him being a red zone target.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say over because Antoine Raymond gets 12 and KJ gets 9 to 10.
I think
Since we're on the topic of KJ Duff, over under multiple touchdown games for KJ 4.5.
one of the most common.
Multi-touchdown.
I think one of the most common phrases when relationships go south is one partner saying, "I'm over you."
You saying it's more?
I'm saying over on 19.5. Over. KJ's going to have a great year. And Antoine's going to have a very, very good year. I see them combining for 22 or 23. But I have a question for you guys. Since you started this game and did a fantastic job, every question damn good.
Thank you.
Over under 2.5 sacks allowed per game.
Over, unfortunately.
2.5 sacks allowed.
Yeah.
Per game is tough.
I'm saying over, unfortunately. I know that we have a new offensive line coach and we have some new offensive linemen in general. But, I mean, to be fair, Dylan is faster than Ethan. But didn't Ethan got sacked, like 34 times this past year?
Yeah.
That's just under 3 a game. I'll say under because it's like 2.4 or 2.3. Like not much at all.
All right, well, now here's the real question.
I think it's going to be under.
Sorry. Sorry.
You got one that Donovan asked too.
I think it's going to
4.5, right?
over under multiple touchdown games for KJ Duff, and I said the line is 4.5.
Over.
I got to go under there. I think KJ's going to have a good year, but he's also going to have tougher coverage for sure this year. I'm going to say he has 3.
Fair enough.
I'm gonna say 4. I think he's under. I think it's gonna be 4. I don't think he's gonna get cracked 5.
All right. Well, what about this one? And this is one that really goes to the heart of the Rutgers program. 1.5. The number of players who either get married or divorced.
Goodness.
During the season.
Either or. I'm taking the over.
You taking the over?
With how NIL is and the age of a lot of these players, I could say over.
Wow. Okay, I was gonna say
A lot of these guys that are especially on this team. Well, there's some young guys on Rutgers. At least on the offensive line, I think the average age from like I'm seeing how everybody is around 20, 22, 23 is the average age. Because I know Salinks is around 22. The oldest offensive lineman is Needham.
Yeah.
So at least on the offensive side, it's going to be pretty young, but the defensive side is where a lot of the transfers are going to be.
Okay, I'm going to add on to this real quick just for a point about KJ Duff, and then I got another over-under I just thought of. But here is one thing that this year reminds me of. Calvin Johnson, his second year as a Detroit Lion, 78 catches, 1331 yards, 12 touchdowns. His third year, 67 catches, 984 yards, 5 touchdowns. 2 less games played, but obvious drop-off. It's not because Calvin Johnson regressed. It's because everyone freaking double teams him because there was no one else to throw the ball to. And I pray that KJ doesn't have that kind of drop-off because of the coverage. Could you see that happening?
I can see that happening once Big Ten schedule comes around. I don't think UMass, Boston College. I think Boston College is going to try to plan that, but I don't think this is going to go well.
Yeah.
But when they get to the Indiana game is going to be the game where you're going to see how a lot of the rest of the Big Ten or pretty much the rest of the country are going to try to stop KJ Duff.
Yeah. What about you, Adam?
No, I'm going with the over. I think KJ Duff is going to have a great year, and some teams are going to struggle to cover him no matter what they do, and I think he's going to have a year that's going to, probably place him in the running for the Wide Receiver of the Year award, whatever they call that award.
Is that the Biletnikoff Award?
Biletnikoff. I truly believe he could be a Biletnikoff finalist if things go well.
Yeah.
Former Rutgers player in Ian Strong could be a potential Biletnikoff finalist if things go well with him at Cal.
For sure.
So I agree with you, Adam.
Those two, Jeremiah Smith and Ryan Williams, right? That's like.
I don't think Ryan Williams is in these discussions anymore.
Really?
He had a rough year, Alabama.
Oh, okay.
Drops.
I think when we talk about Biletnikoff, the wide receivers I can think of, including Rutgers guys, KJ Duff, Ian Strong, Malachi Toney, Jeremiah Smith.
Oh, Malachi Toney's a monster.
I forgot about Malachi Toney already. Shame on me. Which Indiana receiver from last year I think it was their wide receiver 3, who caught the insane catch in the game against Miami.
Charlie Becker?
Yeah, isn't he back with Indiana?
Yeah. But I think he's going to be a wide receiver too. He's not going to be the main guy at Indiana right now is Marsh.
Oh, right, Marsh. Marsh could win it. Or Becker if Marsh were to get hurt. Either one of them could win it.
Charlie Becker has hands. That guy.
He was their wide receiver 3. Think about that.
Yeah.
He was one of the few guys that was there when Indiana was bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to see it that he's going to be using that offense. What
about how likely is it? I forget his name. The Ohio State receiver who was the best player in the country and just committed for 2026 like a few months ago. Remember he had the show he chose Ohio State Live over Oregon, I think.
Good question.
I forget his name, but he could win it not next year, but the year after that for sure.
True or false? AJ Surace during the season auditions for American Idol. I am predicting also that Charlie Becker
Jr. Thank you.
Charlie Becker at some point in his life will be the host of a game show.
That I could see 100%.
Totally.
Charlie Becker is a game show name.
Charlie Becker. Name. I think you know how Alex Trebek had like that run where he just had people hosting Jeopardy and just to see if Ryan not Ryan Seacrest. Oh God, I'm blanking on his name. What's his name? The new guy. Adam, you should know.
I should know. I don't know. That's a good question.
I watch him every night with my mom and I forget his name. But anyways, if he has some sort of thing like that when he gets ripe in age. I could see Charlie Becker.
Oh, Ken Jennings.
Yeah, I could see him having a Charlie Becker audition for sure.
Becker is going to host a game show called Catch This. There you go.
Niche references.
Yeah, and to win the prize, like they get like professional athletes who throw like 100 miles an hour at somebody, and you have to catch it. Catch This with your host, former Indiana national champion Charlie Becker, and singing our theme song, former Rutgers backup AJ Cerise.
You're not saying former Rutgers Heisman finalist AJ Cerise?
So AJ Cerise is gonna play the Vanna White role.
He's turning the letters. No. That's gonna be that's White D. Collier. He's gonna be turning the letters.
So you're saying he's gonna be on Progressive as a "It's good to have backup" sponsor?
Yeah, he's gonna be on that commercial like Aaron Rodgers was. He's gonna be on like a State Farm commercial in a classroom, being like, "Kids, you should pursue your passions." And the kids are gonna be like, "You stink. You stink. You're not starting, and you have no self-esteem." Remember that commercial? It was hilarious.
Yeah. I could see him doing the Progressive backup commercials. Most likely to do that would be AJ Cerise.
Yeah, who was it? Was it wasn't Tyrod Taylor. It was Jacoby Brissett was on it. Tommy DeVito.
Tyler Huntley was on it.
Tommy DeVito.
DeVito. Teddy Bridgewater was one of them.
Teddy Bridgewater. He was the one that talked about the birds and the bees, right?
No, that was Tyler Huntley.
Oh, it was?
Teddy Bridgewater was being the listening friend.
Yeah. Those are some great commercials, man.
I predict that AJ Cerise will at some point be the Bachelor.
Are you trying to petition him to be the Bachelor?
I'm just telling you, he has that Hollywood look about him. This guy's got potential.
He has a name for TV.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, sure. All right, one last one I just thought of. Over under 0.5 garbage time receptions for, I'm not going to do receptions. I'm going to do touchdowns for Elias Cody Koch or Desir Carter.
I don't think Desir is going to be. I think it's going to be over for Koch. I don't think Desir is going to be in this conversation. I truly see him getting some burn. He's one of the, like you said before, 4-star, the only 4-star offensive guy that was brought in for Rutgers this season. He's going to have to be used in this offense because he could be an X factor in this offense, kind of similar to what we saw just last year. The freshman wide receivers, at least last year and the year before, took over their teams. If you want to talk 2 years ago with Ryan Williams, Jeremiah Smith, last year with Malachi Tony, I'm not saying Desir Carter is one of those guys in terms of what they've already done, but he could be in that same realm of a freshman wide receiver that can open up a new weapon for a quarterback that's getting used to being around guys that can really do something with the ball in their hands.
Yeah, I think he could be wide receiver 3 at best and wide receiver 6 at worst. I just can't believe he's a third string according to...
I just know he's going to be fun to play with in NCAA 27. NCAA 27, he's going to be fun to play with.
I predicted against Nebraska, when we have the ball on the 1-yard line and get stuffed on 1st and 2nd and goal, Asamoah will come in and, like William the Refrigerator Perry, will barrel through that stingy Nebraska defensive line and score a touchdown.
One of my mom's friends dated the Fridge in college.
Which offensive lineman do y'all see for Rutgers playing that role that, for example, Caden Proctor played for Alabama last year?
Exactly.
Which offensive lineman do you see for Rutgers that could be that role?
I guess that would be Asamoah. I concur. I mean, I know that none of them are the fastest. Maybe Needham is the shiftiest, but to me, you give it to the best offensive lineman and say, hey, you're already our best offensive lineman. Let's see how you do with the football in your hand.
You put him at fullback and you look at him in the eyes and you say, kill. And then
you're saying put him at fullback to block. I've seen him potentially doing something like going to Wildcat. And short yardage trick play. I could see Asamoah doing it, and to be honest, I hope they do that, especially at least in the earlier parts of the season, because it will definitely help this offensive line work harder. Because as a fellow offensive lineman, the best way to be rewarded is a chance to have the ball in your hands.
Gabe, I feel bad for that person. You mentioned you said you knew somebody who dated William the Refrigerator Perry. You want to know why I feel bad? Because every time
it's inappropriate.
Every time she told her friends and anybody, I'm dating the fridge, everyone was like, bullshit. You are not. So she had to deal
Oh my God. Or God forbid she was overweight and said that.
I didn't go there. You did.
To be fair, I was imagining much worse, but all right. This one is kind of a depressing one, and I feel like we're all gonna be on board. Over, under, and I'll drop a positive one after this to end off. Over, under 0.5 Rutgers players drafted.
This is gonna be junior year for Duff.
No, I'm saying this draft.
Oh, for this draft? Oh,
next
draft,
next draft, I'm upping it to 1.5, honestly.
Oh, that's not fair.
It's a given.
Well, for this draft, I don't see anybody getting drafted. But if we're gonna do, can we do free agent signings as well, or UDFAs?
UDFAs over under 1.5 that make the final 54.
Fuck. Realistically, I could see Ethan making a final roster. There's a chance as well. I could see potentially Eric O'Neal making a final roster. Not just because of what he did last season, also being during his time here at LIU, being close with the former coach that was able to get a lot of guys into the league and a lot of guys that are currently in the leagues at coaching positions, and Ron Cooper. I feel like Ron Cooper is going to be able to help O'Neal out and find out which team he can go to and impress out of the rookie minicamp. I'll take over.
I'm saying over because I truly believe Ethan is going to make a roster, similar to how I truly believed that Monangai would. And I am also going to say that Gus Zelinskas makes it as a backup.
Under.
You're saying under?
Because I'm not including UDFAs. If I was including UDFAs, over.
Yeah. Okay. So you see, and Jason says he can see Cam Miller or Bradley Weaver making a spot.
There's a potential for Weaver. I think Weaver is going to be a guy that goes to the XFL, though.
Yeah.
A lot of the guys that are going to be XFL guys, I can see Weaver and DT Sheffield.
DT, I didn't even mention DT. He's such a tough rank.
Weaver screwed up the Ohio State game. I'm still pissed at him with the hit on Sam.
To be fair, he was the one that was keeping it competitive at first, too. He had two straight TFLs before that.
Yeah, but then he had a unsportsmanlike conduct that killed him.
I know, but
it's like being a good husband for 10 years and you axe your wife to death. I mean, the 10 years don't matter.
Jeez.
That's a little bit extreme.
And the thing with DT is between him, Ian Strong, and KJ, DT has the best athletic ability. He's got the best intangibles. It's just that he wasn't the best wide receiver between them. And I don't think he gets drafted, but I do think that he has a chance for sure to make a roster. Prove me wrong that I want you, DT, to prove me wrong, not these guys. These guys, if I'm saying you can make it and I'm telling them to prove me wrong, there's something wrong with me because that would mean I want you to fail, which I don't. But I do think that DT can make a roster.
I would agree with that.
The only rosters I see him making is XFL right now. There's a lot of good wide receivers.
There's so many.
This wide receiver class is very good, and just his tape outside of the Ohio game, and I will say the earlier parts of the Iowa game was good, just due to what he was able to do against that style of competition in the Big Ten. But outside of that, he didn't really have a good season from week 5 onwards.
His numbers are okay. I mean, they're not what he shot for. I remember when we had him on the show, he said he wanted 100, 1,000, he said he wanted 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns, which he didn't get either of those, but he still had a solid year. It's just that you don't see too many wide receiver threes on Rutgers make the league.
I'm not even saying just for him being a wide receiver 3. If he was a wide receiver 3 and was still able to put up at least 500 yards, receiving, I would say there's a chance, but 300 yards receiving isn't going to get you on the roster or get you a lot of calls. That's why I could see him potentially going at least a year in the XFL or the CFL,
He had
and then potentially coming back around.
He had 570. Yeah, he had 577 last year.
Oh, as a wide receiver 3?
Yeah, 44 for 577, 5 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's potentially a chance then.
He had 66 for 822, 11 touchdowns with North Texas. So that's what I'm saying. Like, he had the numbers, he just didn't have the volume, and like that kind of says two things about him. It says that he took advantage of opportunities, but it also says that maybe he wasn't as utilized because he wasn't the best receiver on the team.
I will say he was really much a team player because he saw that Strong and Duff were taking primary of the carries, primary of the touches and catches, and he didn't make a fuss about it. He kept playing his role. So that is a positive for scouts to look at, because at the end of the day, he's a speed guy, and it's gonna come down to his pro day and how well he runs.
And I tell
if
you,
he has a good pro day, there's a chance.
That's something that, despite popular belief, AI cannot detect.
But if we're going pre-pro day right now, I think his best way to make an NFL roster is if he does well in a spring league, like a XFL right now. Because the wide receiver class this year is just very, very oversaturated with a lot of good talent.
He's gonna have a Tavon Austin type of mixtape in the CFL.
And that's gonna get Tavon got 2 to 3 years here in the NFL.
Oh, I'm not saying that as a bad thing. You remember those Tavon Austin, West Virginia highlights? That thing was everywhere.
He just needs to show that, he just needs to have tape that shows, I can do this against dudes. I can do this. So him going against an XFL, having showing out there or showing out in the CFL would make ways for him to get to a team, at least for right now. I'm just hoping that his pro day numbers come out really good so he doesn't have to go that route.
Yeah, Tavon Austin helped elevate Kid Ink's career. If you know ball, you'll get it.
Because the highlights were just, I think it was day and night. Well, no, it was Pursuit of Happiness.
Yeah. I don't know all the lyrics, clearly. But yeah, that's it for the over-unders, I guess.
Yeah, well, that was awesome, Gabe. Great stuff, and great discussion, guys. Any final thoughts?
KJ, you better work on those double team scrimmages because they're coming.
The NFL needs to invite at least one player from every, I would say, at least Power 4 school, because a lot of the guys that were in the combine this year didn't go and do it because they knew they had the pro day. A lot of these guys that were at the combine didn't have a lot to show if they're already a highly touted guy, at least from the Power 4. And it really, seeing that a lot of the guys, especially for the quarterbacks, did not do a lot of the drills or do a lot of the testings. I know at least 50% of the quarterbacks sat out for the 40. Some of them also sat out for the QB throwing drills as well. I think Jalen Daniels, he was done for the day after running the 40. He didn't want to do the vertical jump or the broad jump. Well, no, he did the broad jump, but he didn't do the vertical. So he was done for the day. I just know, Ethan, I feel for you, because seeing a lot of those guys not do anything at the combine, knowing that you would do anything to just get an invite, and seeing that invite be wasted on guys not taking advantage of what the opportunity they have because they know they have another opportunity in their back pocket with pro day, it's rough. So I would just say right now, if Ethan, if you're watching this, just ball out your pro day and just prove a lot of those scouts wrong for not inviting you. Because that should be fuel for a lot of these guys at their pro day, saying that the NFL didn't want to give me a chance to show what I can do. Yeah. So you gotta make a way for yourself. The same way a lot of players have done it for themselves as well.
And he was the most determined quarterback in Gruden's camp. He, for better or worse, would have 100% done every drill in the combine.
Yeah, certainly wish him the best. And this season is going to come down to quarterback play. It's going to be critical. Whoever's under center, the success of Rutgers is going to rise and fall in the success of our quarterback this year. But as always, guys, great discussion, great topics. And everybody who was watching, if you like the show, hit that like and subscribe button. We'll be here every week until the first game of the season. And then, of course, beyond that, 7 p.m. on Monday. So thanks for being here. Thanks for your comments. And as always, go Scarlet Knights. See you next week.
Go Scarlet Knights.
Go Scarlet Knights.